country in the world, and it is worth fighting for. It is worth bleeding for, and if it takes it, it's worth dying for the greatest country that this world has ever seen.
What up, what up, what up, America? I wonder if everybody... Oh, look at that already. Oops. Apparently, Royce wants us to get to the sponsor immediately when we start the show. I wonder sometimes, because I cracked my neck right before we went live, I wonder if anybody heard that.
I did.
Well, I know we heard it. But either way, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. Do us a favor. Everybody needs to hit that like button right now. The more you hit that like button, the more people see this show. Make sure to hit the follow button. And let's go ahead and get the comment section blowing up. Bombshell news yesterday. Mark Zuckerberg pens a letter to Congress admitting that they not only rigged everything, they also allowed the White House to suppress the freedom of speech of all Americans on their social media platforms. So here's my question. Should Mark Zuckerberg be held accountable? Yes or no? Is it now abundantly clear that they cheated? Yes or no? And should there be repercussions? Dare I say reparations paid to the American people for what they did? Comment yes or no in the chat right now. I want to see it blowing up. Also, Kamala Harris is trying to get out of the debates with Donald Trump, and Tulsi Gabbard joins the MAGAvengers, we're going to call it, and an amazing weekend, amazing Monday after an amazing weekend. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about, but first let's introduce everybody that's in the show today. Tony's here, everyone. Tony's here.
That was very, very unexciting, I guess.
See, you complain every day, and then I call you by your Christian name, now you're upset.
I laugh when you do it because I can see your brain just trying to say, okay, what else am I going to say?
All right, and of course, producer Royce is here.
I have a surprise.
Royce has beard.
I have cat and beard.
Well, now you've ruined it. And everybody's favorite redneck, Hot Seat Todd, is here. Royce is like, oh crap, I gotta hit him.
Or as somebody put this past weekend, if the song Chicken Fried was a person.
Yeah, you look like you're either getting ready to smoke a joint or write a rock ballad, like one of the two. All right, of course, I'm your host, Graham Allen.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. Can we go to all of us real quick? Todd, with this specific outfit, the backwards hat and the glasses, you look like a former rock star that's about to try to make a comeback.
Wait.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
doing
him.
it.
Join him.
You had a drug addiction. You got dropped by your label. Your previous band has moved on.
Absolutely.
But by God, you still have something to say.
I still got something in the tank, dude.
I like it, Todd. I think
Thanks, buddy.
you're rocking it, man. Do it.
Oh, man.
Thanks, dude.
Anyway, I know I'm getting old because somebody just wrote a comment and said, Todd looks like Limp Bizkit's singer. And the reason that bothers me is because they don't know his name is Fred Durst. And they're just like, he looks like Limp Bizkit's singer. Yeah, it's Fred Durst. Anyway, all right. Who was in the Navy, by the way, ironically, Fred Durst. All right, we got a lot of stuff.
Too young to be on this show.
We got it. You don't know who Limp Bizkit is? I mean, not a Christian band by any stretch of the imagination, but you don't know who Limp Bizkit is.
We played him. We played him music.
I guarantee that you have heard a song.
Probably.
We've already been through.
They're the ones that sing that break stuff song. It's just one of those days when you don't want to wake
played the
up.
song for you.
Yeah, that's Limp Bizkit.
Wrong
Okay,
side.
terrible band. If your kids are watching, do not go listen to Limp Bizkit. It was pre-Jesus, all right? Either way. All right, moving on. We got stuff to talk about. Let's get into our first sponsor, and that is Silent. Silent, we've told you guys they're tracking us all day, every day. We just had Facebook admit that they actively went after you, and we know for a fact that they've sold your data to millions and millions of the highest bidders. They have these Faraday pouches at Silent. You can put your stuff in here just like so, and you are invisible to the people tracking you. You are invisible to the world. It's an amazing thing. They got fanny packs, which are sold out apparently because that's back in style now. When I was a kid, that meant you didn't have any money. But either way, Either way, make sure to go check them out and protect yourself from the people that are going after all of your data. Right now, you can go to slnt.com/Graham to get 15% off plus free shipping. As you can see, they've got backpacks, they got Faraday pouches, they've got everything to protect you from a world where Big Brother is watching. Go to slnt.com/Graham and protect your privacy today. All right, let's get into the show, gentlemen. Let's do this. Ladies, I think there we go. All right.
Eventually.
Remember, eventually.
It takes me a second to turn off and switch everything.
When Tony says something, it's so much more hurtful than anyone else.
I know.
It's just like, eventually, and then he just stops and then he walks away. All right. This first video is for your viewing pleasure. So prepare your eye holes for this amazing thing. Warning, if children are watching, there is a F-bomb in this video. We cannot affect what is in the video. This is a live show. So this is the Nelk Boys. All right. So just for clarification, the Nelk Boys are all in for Donald Trump, but they decided to pose as Harris wall supporters. And this lady, God bless her, her reaction is, dare I say, splendid. Play the clip.
Hi. Hello there. Hi. I work for the Harris and Waltz campaign. Take it off. Take it off. No, I'm going to leave it there because...
No, you're not going to leave it there.
Oh, why?
Because I can't stand them.
Do you not support tampons in men's bathrooms?
No, I don't support tampons in men's bathrooms.
Why?
Because tampons are for women. Where are they going to stick it? Up their ass? Get it the fuck out of here. Get it out of my property.
It looks good there, though. Wait, don't touch my sign. Touch my sign.
That's my sign.
You didn't address me by my pronouns.
What are you, a he, she? Fucking transgender.
I'm two-spirit.
Okay. All right. If that was hilarious, just give me a fire emoji in the chat right now. That was amazing. But also, real quick, can we get to the part right before she throws the sign? I just want to point out something really fast.
I know what you're going to
because
say.
it is so funny to me right here. Nope. Back just a little more. Back just a little more. Listen to the way he says, "Don't touch my sign." If this isn't Tony's voice octave, I don't know. Play it.
It looks good there, though. Wait, don't touch my sign. Don't touch my sign.
We should send Tony out to do the same thing, actually.
I can see Tony. Come on, Tony, give it to us. Say it. Don't touch my sign.
Don't touch my sign.
It sounds just like him. Okay. Anyway, shout out to the Nelk Boys. That was awesome, man.
Graham,
It's the greatest thing ever.
I'm going to put you back in the basement.
Oh, no.
All right. Everyone agrees. That's hilarious.
That's
all right.
awesome.
Touch my sign.
Also, we have groundbreaking news. Harry Sisson girl pants. Turns out, might not even if he is technically an American citizen because his parents were American, born abroad, he makes it known this fool's only been in America for like 18 months. Play it.
I was born in Singapore, and I lived there for only like a year, and then I moved to Dubai, and I lived there for 5 years, and then I moved to Dublin, Ireland. I lived there for around 9, so that's pretty much where I grew up. And then I moved to the United States and went to high school here, and now I'm going to college here.
So 15 of the 21 years he hasn't lived here.
Yeah.
What is he cooking?
I don't know.
is
that?
That's the heart of innocent
Did
children
you say baloney?
for
That's
the child
baloney.
sacrifice.
He's frying bologna.
Anyway, I don't think I just don't see him as a bologna eater. I'm gonna go fillet of child heart for
There you
his
go.
devil worship that he's a part of.
Yep.
Later on. Anyway, so go figure. We wonder, how can a young man be so mentally? You can't say the R word anymore, but I mean, he's there. I mean, anyway, you guys know, maybe you can type it in the chat. Either way, the point is, this explains a lot. He's a horrible human being, but either way, he's going to he's going to not marry a woman and not make her very sad one day. Anyway, all right. So moving on. Speaking of things to make you mad, somebody's putting it all in the chat. I love it. All right. Speaking of things to make you mad, if you still live in California, I honestly don't know what to tell you anymore because now the state of California is considering giving $150,000 home loans to veterans, homeless veterans, American citizens. No. Illegal immigrants. California is close to approving a measure that would make illegal immigrants eligible for up to $150,000 in state-supported home loans for down payments. The California dream for all, except if you're an American and don't have $150,000 for a down payment. Program would provide a 20% down payment assistance with no savings required from illegal immigrants that probably don't even have a bank account. Governor Gavin Newsom's spokesperson said he would evaluate the bill on its merits if it reaches his desk. Critics argue that this measure could incentivize illegal immigration to the state. Gee, I wonder why. You know who's paying for that, the state of California? You are, the tax-paying residents of the state of California. If you believe Gavin Newsom is the devil, just comment yes or no. I don't want you putting a bunch of devils in the chat. Just comment yes or no in the chat. This man is a raging lunatic.
I love this. I love it.
Why?
Because Oregon is doing the same thing. They're giving a $30,000 down payment for illegal immigrants, non-citizens. That's great.
And thank the Lord. Thank the Lord they're doing it.
I'm serious.
It's
Because
about time.
all the illegals will move to the state that we're not going to win anyway.
I think that we should just
go.
sell Washington, Oregon, and California to Canada to like pay off the national debt.
Keep doing it, California. You're just helping us because we're not going to win your state anyway. Oregon, we're not going to win your state anyway. Keep going. I love it.
How many times have you guys seen when you're driving about and you see those people with signs that say that are homeless, that are like disabled veteran or whatnot? Have you guys ever stopped to talk to them and just?
No.
I do every now and then. I go by, like if I'm at Lowe's or Home Depot, they're usually on the corner there, and I stopped to talk to one of them the other day, and he was just very, very adamant about just the government left him behind and that kind of thing. You know, he gave his many years of service and left him behind. I gave him a few bucks, whatever I had in my pocket, and a bottle of water, and I was on my way. But as I was driving home, this really hit hard for me because I know the states like California, Oregon, Washington, they're giving illegal immigrants that have done nothing for this country except come in and just take advantage of the system, and the politicians are just letting them have it. And it boils my blood, and it disgusts me almost that they're giving them so much more attention and money for nothing, just for coming in, just for breaking the law.
I'm telling you, we're all just going to renounce our citizenship, take a flight to Mexico, and just walk across the border, and like we're set for life, like at this point.
Then
so
I'll be able to get a home.
I'm taking Tony because he knows the coyotes.
All right, let's move on. Donald Trump has dropped a new ad, and we'll get into Kamala Harris trying to get out of the debate in a minute. But this is what the world has always wanted to see, and that is Harris debating Harris. You can't make it up. Let's hit the play button.
Everyday prices are too high. Food, rent, gas, back to school clothes. That is called Bidenomics. A loaf of bread cost 50% more today. Ground beef is up almost 50%. There's not much left at the end of the month. Bidenomics is working. The price of housing has gone up. It feels so hard to just be able to get ahead. And we are very proud of Bidenomics.
Bravo. Bravo.
Yes.
That is Bidenomics or Harrisonomics. However you want to call it.
The opportunity economy.
Yes. All right. So this next part, like I said, Tulsi Gabbard has joined the MAGAvengers, as we like to call it. And I will say, you know, Tulsi Gabbard has always been super cool to me. If you're becoming a fan of Tulsi Gabbard, comment yes or no in the comment section right now. This is Trump just formally announced that Tulsi Gabbard, she's got great common sense, great spirit, and she loves her country. This is President Trump. Here we go.
And today I'm honored to officially welcome another true American patriot, a 17-year veteran of the Hawaii Army National Guard, a 4-term Democrat congresswoman, very, very popular, the former vice chair of the National Democratic Party and a 2020 Democrat candidate for the United States presidency. You know, she was a very good candidate. Every time she ran, she was good. She did well. She decided to leave. She couldn't take it anymore, but she is very special. And I didn't know this, but she was a lieutenant colonel. That's not bad. Lieutenant colonel.
That's not bad. No, it's not bad at all.
I didn't know that. You know, I just found out. I said, put it down. You got to put that down. That's bigger. That's better than all the other stuff I read. But no, she's a special person. She's got great common sense, great spirit. She loves our country, and she loves the people in this room. Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi, please.
Tulsi, please. I love it. All right, and then next you're going to have Tulsi Gabbard officially. I mean, we all knew. Like I said, yesterday we talked about RFK said that there was going to be some top Democrats that would shock people. I still think there's going to be somebody else because although this is a huge moment, don't get me wrong, I don't think this is a shock to anybody, but I don't want to downgrade it. Let's hear what she has to say. Play it.
To the brink of nuclear war than we ever have been before. This is one of the main reasons why I'm committed to doing all that I can to send President Trump back to the White House where he can once again serve us as our commander-in-chief. Because I am confident that his first task will be to do the work to walk us back from the brink of war. We cannot be prosperous unless we are at peace. And we can't live free as long as we have a government that is retaliating against it to the brink of nuclear.
All right, there you go. So that's the official endorsement. Somebody said get some Robitussin, Graham. You got Biden cough. Listen here. I got asthma, 1. 2, I talk for a living. And this just comes with the process. Have you ever talked to a person who sings for a living? They sound like this all the time, man, you know, and then they like prep themselves. So I don't appreciate the tone of the comment of what you just said.
Why are you guys poking the bear? Leave him alone.
Anyway, I already said I'm not in a good mood today. Anyway, all right, I'm here to give the show to you people, and I'm struggling, all right, but I'm here. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so that is a huge moment. I don't want to underscore it, but I'm curious your thoughts because as amazing as that was, I wouldn't consider that shocking. Nah. And RFK said that there's going to be a lineup of Democrats that endorse Donald Trump, and at least one of them is going to be shocking. So I comment in the chat who you think that is. Now, Tulsi Gabbard brings up a good point. We are on the brink of World War III. We are on the brink of nuclear war, and the economy is showing it, and inflation especially is showing it. So we brought on our good friend Philip to talk to us about what's going on with the economy. So I beg you, it's 6-minute interview here. We're going to go to that, bring Philip on. I beg you to listen to this. And when we come back, we've got Dan Bongino absolutely throwing the torch nuke down about the Secret Service debacle that is going on. So stay around from that, hit the like button, and please listen to what Philip has to say about the economy. Let's go to it. All right, America, and without further ado, my favorite American accent and my favorite guy from Birch Gold, Philip is here. Philip, how you doing, man?
Doing very well, Graham. Thanks for having me.
All right, so Philip, before we start, is this going to be the day you give me good news, or are we still in trouble?
Give me a little bit of time on that. Look, maybe smatterings of good news, but not too much.
All right, so let's just jump straight to the point. So last week, Jamie Dimon said he's skeptical inflation will return to what the Fed is hoping they get back to this 2% target rate. Talk to me about that. Is that likely? What's going on there?
No, I agree with him. I'm skeptical as well. I mean, he's certainly right about the inflationary forces that we're facing. We've got an administration that we know is hell-bent on deficit spending. We now have the cost globally of sort of remilitarizing the world in preparation for a new Cold War. I thought what was really interesting was he said that the Fed will likely cut rates soon, and I agree. I think it'll happen in September, probably a quarter point, maybe a half. But interestingly, he said, I don't think that this matters as much as people think.
Why?
Look, I think it's simple. Look, there's two primary forces at work in the economy. There's monetary policy that the Fed controls, right? They can control the money supply and the cost of credit. But then there's fiscal policy, right? What the government spends money on, how much it spends. And that's controlled by the executive branch, the White House and Congress. And I think Dimon's pointing out that the Fed just has no control over fiscal policy. Jerome Powell can go on 60 Minutes and scold the administration and tell them to spend less, but that's about it. So, this massive deficit spending is a powerful inflationary force, and it's out of the Federal Reserve's hands.
So we find ourselves in this position. Social Security numbers got leaked the other day, and then they're saying like every single Social Security number. Like, how in the world does that happen? We see this stuff. We see the economy. We see all this stuff. We see candidates promising that they're going to, reduce the economy, even though one candidate is currently in the administration affecting the economy. But either way, what do Americans need to do? Like again, I know you can't tell the future. I know that this is all, numbers and equations and percentages and all this stuff. Is the likelihood, we've got monkeypox popping up now and all this stuff. What is the likelihood that we are headed down a road that people should be concerned enough that they need to take matters into their own hands and be prepared?
Look, I think being prepared is the key here. And we're talking about very accurate indicators of recession. The SARM rule has kicked in, right? Like I said, the last 11 recessions, it's done so every single time prior. We have inflation that is burning at 30-year highs. It is very sticky. We have a world running away from the US dollar. So economically, we have problems. And the issue is this isn't just a domestic problem. The problems are global. We're seeing slowdowns across the Eurozone. We're seeing the UK, Japan, China in recession. It's a global problem.
So the worldwide thing, real quick, Philip, I know your time is valuable here. The BRICS, we know that we've been talking about the BRICS and possibly in September or October, them making this push about another currency or things like that to devalue the US dollar on a global scale. Do you have any new information towards that at all?
Look, it's happening, and they haven't launched a new currency yet, but they don't need to do it yet, right? What they're doing is they're using gold. So remember, I said central banks have bought more gold over the last 2.5 years than any other years in history, right. And it's part of this. The problem that the BRICS have, these Brazil, Russia, China, they don't have a currency yet that can usurp the dollar, right? Yes, China want to dump their dollars. They want to take that weapon away from us, but they don't then want to have to hold Russian rubles. They're too volatile. So that's where the gold buying is coming in. By buying gold, these nations are achieving two things. Number one, gold is giving them the stability that they need for an international currency. In the same time period that the dollar has lost 17% of its buying power, gold is up 25. So it's actually a better trade than the dollar. The second part is this, though. The more gold they buy, the less dollars they hold. The less dollars they hold, they're starting to kill demand for the dollar. Well, less demand there is, the weaker the dollar becomes. The weaker the dollar, the weaker our weapon. And then the weaker the longer term argument becomes for the dollar as the global reserve. And to show you that, gold has overtaken the euro as the number 2 reserve asset. And it's not because countries have been selling euros. They've been selling so many dollars buying gold that gold has overtaken the euro. So It's happening now. They will likely launch a common currency, but they're already de-dollarizing. US dollars held by central banks today are at 26-year lows. So this is actively underway.
Wow. Philip, as always, man, we appreciate you bringing your insight to this. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to text the word Graham, and that's Graham, to the number 989898 right now, and talk to people not quite as intelligent as Philip, but they're pretty close. Text the word Graham, that's Graham, to 989898 right now, and let my friends at Birch Gold help you to protect your money, your family, your way of life. Philip, as always, thanks for being here. One day, we'll all be out of jobs then, but one day you're going to give me some good news, and we're going to go from there.
I promise. Thank you for having me, Graham.
All right, my friend. See you later. All right, so that was Philip giving us information that this dumb redneck from Mississippi can only attempt to explain. So please check out our friends at Birch Gold. And I see people in the chat saying gold's too expensive. Well, they also have silver and other precious metals as well. So just remember to text the word Graham. That's Graham to 989898 right now. All right, now's the point where we remind you to hit that like button, hit that share button, because we've got the GOAT himself, Dan Bongino. No, not you, Todd. The GOAT himself, Dan Bongino, that absolutely just wrecked the halls of Congress yesterday. This is a 4-minute clip of Dan, but it is worth watching, and we're going to go full screen for this one, I believe. Let's just go full screen on this one since it's so long. Listen to what Dan says. Dan, if you love Dan Bongino, comment yes or no in the chat. Let's show Dan some love. Dan watches us in the morning as well. He is the GOAT of what we do, but watch him absolutely destroy this catastrophe that is the Secret Service. Play it.
Thanks for your time. Thank you for doing this. Sound okay? Everybody hear me back there? Yeah. Great. Fantastic. Listen, let's just get right to the point. This was an apocalyptic security failure. A man was murdered in front of his family. 3 people were shot on live television, including President Trump in the head, who came within 2 millimeters of having his head explode on national television in front of millions of people. There's no sugarcoating it. It's no time for BS. Unfortunately, as Congressman Crane and Mills both indicated, the story seems to have been vanquished to the phantom zone of media coverage. It's amazing how we're still talking about JFK's assassination, but nobody seems to want to talk about President Trump being shot in the head on national television, despite the fact that we have no answers. So I have 5 minutes, so I want to keep it quick, and I want to make 3 points. I worked in the Secret Service for 12 years. I loved it. I worked with some really amazing men and women who gave everything. I mean, a couple of them literally gave everything. I know guys who've gotten bizarre diseases overseas, like chikungunya fever and protection operations. Everybody gave a little bit of something in the Secret Service, and it was a real honor to say I was part of it. But they have 3 institutional problems, I believe, in the macro will help us get to the bottom of how this Secret Service apocalyptic failure won't happen again. First, they have a technology problem. The joke in the Secret Service, which is sadly no longer funny when I was there, and it wasn't funny then either, is they rely on yesterday's technology tomorrow. Think about that. Yesterday's technology tomorrow. Everything from computer systems that waste agents' times, filling out time and attendance records they were doing, to Congressman Crane and I discussing the fact that they only implemented slings, a technology as old as the wheel, about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years into my time in the Secret Service, which is embarrassing. The weaponry was old, everything was old. These are things I would have talked about sooner if they didn't create a security crisis, and I obviously didn't want to air them publicly. Now you're seeing what happens when you don't have a drone up at a site you could have bought for $39.99 on Amazon. Second, another adage in the Secret Service, you've heard even the new acting director discuss, is the more with less approach. There is no more with less, there's less with less, okay? The Secret Service more with less approach only works if you produce more. That's how capitalism works. You produce a flat screen TV that was probably 20 years ago, $10,000, it's $200 at Walmart now. They produce a better TV with less. That's not what the Secret Service did. They produced less with more. They were given more money and produced less. A 20-year-old criminal outsmarted them on a $40 drone technology piece of device. You're telling me that's more with less? That's disgusting. That's nothing with less. That's less with more. Their budget went up. You guys know, you're appropriators. You know that. Third, and I'll wrap it up with this, turn it over to Mr. Prince. The investigative mission, the Secret Service, that they're telling you they need to make them better agents is total crap. That's garbage. Their agents are talented, smart people. They can figure out how to do protection without running out cheap $20 counterfeit notes at 7-Eleven on a Friday night while the president's getting shot in the head. How is it we have a DEA, we have an FBI, we have TIGTA, the IRS, CBP, and 1,000 other entities with a $6 trillion budget, which I know a lot of you guys have been fighting against this grotesque spending. $3 billion goes to the Secret Service, and we're wasting time running out counterfeit notes. It's a serious problem, counterfeiting. Granted, it might be a legacy item. They started doing counterfeiting. That's not what we do now. Get rid of the investigative mission, turn it over to other people, let them do what they do best and should do best. Protection. Thanks a lot for your time. Thank you for doing this. Thanks to the panelists as well and everyone attending. Appreciate it.
Wow. Dan Bongino, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely throwing it down. But he's not done. This is Dan Bongino talking about crooks himself. Let's play this clip and we'll watch this one together of the absolute takedown that takes place during this meeting. Let's go.
We talked about this before. I have seen credible information, the extent to which the shooter had significant explosives that were sophisticated beyond that you would expect some 20-year-old just to put together, and that he had sophisticated detonation devices on his person, or a sophisticated detonation device, and importantly, that his digital footprint is completely MIA, that his digital footprint is missing. And that how can a 20-year-old in today's time have no digital footprint? So do you have any thoughts on that, any comments on that? And that'll be my last question.
Well, 4 years of doing protective intelligence investigations with the Secret Service, interviewed probably hundreds of people who have credibly threatened our protectees. I've never seen anything like it. If you would have told me it was a 60-year-old guy who had lived most of his life without a computer and for the last 10 years had been planning this, hard to believe but digestible. You're telling me a 20-year-old kid who's grown up in the digital era figured this out when he was, 13? To never get an online presence? We've seen nothing. Nothing. We're now 6 weeks in. There's not a Facebook photo. You know, it's incredible. We know every single thing about these shooting incidents when there's a political narrative to be had by the media and the other side. We do. You know who their high school girlfriend was. Sadly, you know everything about these people. We know nothing about this guy. And sophisticated explosives. We have this massive law enforcement bureaucracy. No one's got him with an online search history at a library saying, how do I build this? He's 20 years old. It just defies logic. I can tell you, again, 4 years doing these exact investigations, never, ever seen or heard anything like this in my life.
Wow. Again, it leads me to believe that this was all an inside job. If you believe that this was an inside job, the assassination attempt against Donald Trump, comment yes or no in the chat right now. And then last but not least here, they ask him of the new acting deputy director of the Secret Service, Director Rowe. How does Dan Bongino feel about this guy? Let's play this clip.
Mr. Bongino, in your opinion, is the Secret Service in a better spot today with Director Rowe in charge?
No, it's worse. And sadly, I'm glad this is all being recorded, because when something else happens, and I hope it doesn't, I pray to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, that I'm wrong. That you play this and go, look, that guy was crazy. You think this is the last incident, you're out of your mind. We have seen these incidents over and over. We saw the Georgia grenade incident with President Bush. They overtook the magnetometers. The Secret Service leadership in charge now with the exact same people. Exact same. Can you imagine a C-suite at a company that makes widgets? We find out that there's a design defect. The widget explodes and kills 10 people, and the CTO gets a promotion to CEO. You understand that's what happened here, correct? These are the same people. Kim Cheadle, the director, wasn't even fired. She was allowed to resign. She'll go get some cushy job somewhere, and her deputy, who is one of the guys behind these stupid waste of time things like agents wearing red ties on the detail. Because this actually happened, by the way. These people will tell you this on the road if you get the right people. He was concerned about the tie color of the agents on the detail because it seemed to imply they supported President Trump. Congressman Biggs wearing a red tie. You're wearing a semi-red tie. It has nothing to do with anything. This is the kind of stuff the Secret Service was actually wasting their time with while withholding CSU counter surveillance assets and counter sniper assets from probably the most threatened man on earth. If you can explain it, good luck, because that's not the agency I worked for.
Wow. Again, if you believe it was an inside job, comment yes or no.
Man.
I think after all of these things, I think that there can be no other conclusion other than it was, in fact, an inside job, an attempt to take out Trump.
And to point out, like, they cremated his body, like, that fast.
Yeah, I agree.
But unfortunately, we're probably never going to find out.
No,
right?
we're
That
not.
No,
We're
we never will. But we know the truth. And as we get to the Facebook stuff here in a minute, we've known the truth. Everything that comes out, we've known the truth for a while, and it's going to continue as we move on. I want to talk about President Trump being the real commander-in-chief yesterday, honoring the 13 fallen after the debauchery and injustice and just most horrific actions that was the Afghanistan withdrawal. Here is some videos. We're going to play this. Again, President Trump, although I believe he won the 2020 election, right now he is not the president of the United States. But he's the only one there. Biden's not there. Harris isn't there. Biden's on vacation. Kamala's at the bar. Waltz is like getting another fake dog and posing for a picture for National Dog Day.
Biden's dead.
Tony's got some cartel friends that know. This is President Trump being the president. Play it.
Oh!
That's my president. I don't care what anybody else says. That's my president. But let's go to this photo here. Again, this is Donald Trump taking his day to do the presidential duties that a commander-in-chief should do. Where is Joe Biden? Where is Kamala Harris? And shoot, while we're at it, where's Tim Walz wanting to be the vice president?
Who is supposed to be the veteran?
Yeah,
where's he
where are these people? Well, our friend Jack Posobiec has given us some insight as to why they're not there. Let's look what Jack has to say here. Check this out. This is breaking. First shot of Shade War number 2 fired off last night. Big meltdown over wreath laying. Voles blaming Walz. Chief of Staff Chris Schmitter, for not sounding off about what could have been a mainstream media love fest, called him an incompetent greenhorn in prime time position. She went on to say that he's in charge of, quote, G.I. Joe, that's supposed to be Tim Walz, and should be up to date on all military related matters per a White House official. But it doesn't stop there. Why is President Trump doing this when he's not the president? Where is President Biden or vice president? That's right. She is the vice president, Kamala Harris. Well, Jack Posobiec is reporting that Arlington informed the White House about Biden, Kamala, and Walz participating in the ceremony 9 days ago for the third time. The first and secondary requests for Biden and Kamala were made on July 28th and August 9th per White House official. In layman's terms, they ignored it because they do not care about our veterans. They do not care about the debauchery, horrific events of the withdrawal from Afghanistan and the 13 service members who lost their lives. They don't care. And according to Arlington, they reached out to the White House. And here's the thing. Even though the White House is like, oh no, they didn't reach out to us. Why don't you know? How come Trump knows you don't know? Because you don't care.
I have a question to all the Democrats and to all the potential Democrats voting for Harris. Where is your commander-in-chief? Because our commander-in-chief is there paying his respects to all of our fallen patriots there. But where is your commander-in-chief? Where is your potential commander-in-chief? I just don't understand.
On a beach? On a beach if it's Biden, and if it's Harris, she's at a bar getting drunk right now.
Well,
That's where she's at.
I can tell you where the influencers are, Tony. They're flipping this because Trump was invited by the family. That's why he was there. And he took a picture with the family and the young lady that was in the wheelchair, just like he always does. He had a thumbs up. Yeah. And all they're doing is posting that picture saying, what kind of sick individual takes a picture in Arlington with the thumbs up? And they're also using his Medal of Honor speech to twist all of this up into one big freaking lie, dude. This aggravates me when either side, I don't care which side it is, when either side speaks for the veteran community, it drives me up the wall. Do not speak for me. You cannot speak for me. I wouldn't speak for Graham as a fellow veteran because I don't know how he feels. So when you say veterans, no. Use your own freaking pronouns. Don't talk about me.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Jim Acosta. I mean, just, what a degenerate to human society here. Has this to say about it. Here we go.
Former President Trump was at Arlington National Cemetery where he marked the 3-year anniversary of the bombing that killed 13 service members during the Afghanistan withdrawal. This is someone who, according to his own former chief of staff, said Americans who died in war are, quote, suckers and losers. Trump
See what I mean?
When are they going to fact check these losers?
Trump did say that.
There you go.
He more recently said a civilian award is, quote, better than the Medal of Honor. You're a former Army Ranger. Is he politicizing these soldiers' deaths? Should he even be at Arlington National Cemetery if he's going to make some politics out of this?
Well, I also mourn the death of those 13 service members. Every death of a service member is a tragedy. At the same time, I mourn the deaths of the over 2,400 service members who died during the 20 years we were at war.
Former President Trump was at Arlington.
When are we going to stop letting these morons, these mouth-breathing, air-consuming, hate-filled demons continue to look? If I were to post right now, even as Graham Allen, if I were to post Donald Trump called the military members suckers and losers, I would be fact-checked immediately because it's already been fact-checked. In fact, let's just Google it. Let's just Google it right now. Yeah. Did Trump call military service members suckers and losers? Because I know for a fact that they have changed that fact check and made it to where, no, that's actually not true. And that's been proven not to be true at all across the board. Let me know when you got it, Royce.
Snopes.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, any of it. All you got to do is Google, did Trump call military service members suckers and losers? Yes, Todd.
All right, while we're waiting, let's talk about the Medal of Honor speech that he gave that this jerk is talking about right here. All right, so Trump in a speech, he did say that the President's Civil Award was kind of better than the Medal of Honor. He did say it, but this was the context, is that the majority of Medal of Honor winners are either severely injured, have severe mental problems, or they're dead. whereas somebody who wins the presidential civilian award is completely and totally healthy. To that I say to these idiots that keep saying that kind of stuff, there is not a veteran that I know that is missing a leg, that has nightmares at night, including myself, that wouldn't give every single award back to DOD to be whole again. And that's exactly what he was talking about, and that's how they're spinning it, and that's what, oh, my Lord.
What is this? This is Snopes? Okay, here we go. However, there appeared to be no evidence of an audio or video recording of the remarks in question, nor was there any documentation such as transcripts or presidential notes to independently confirm or deny allegation quotes authenticity. Moreover, since Snopes did not witness the in-question comments firsthand, we can't say for certain whether Trump called soldiers suckers and losers. And there also has been, that they're not reporting on this, multiple people saying he did not say any such thing, that the guy who said he said it is a freaking liar across the board. So even Snopes has had to come in here and say, this is a lie. Like, this is a even if you can't say it's not a lie, it is a evidence-based statement. And if we're not allowed to give non-evidence-based statements, then why are they allowed to do so? I think it's ridiculous. I think it's garbage. And speaking of censorship, we got to move on to the main things here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where I'm begging you to hit the like button, hit the share button, because this one, I'm going to do my best to maintain composure during this next part. And we'll just say it. Mark Zuckerberg comes out yesterday and pens a letter to Congress. Let's read the letter first. I want to read the letter. Okay, so bring it on in, because that sucker is small. All right, here we go. And this is to Jim Jordan. All right. If you believe Mark Zuckerberg should be held accountable for what he did for the election, if he should go to prison,
100%.
I'm getting close to that myself. But here we go. Comment yes or no. Chairman Jordan, I appreciate the committee's interest in content moderation on online platforms. As you are aware, Meta has produced thousands of documents as part of your investigation and made a dozen employees available for transcribed interviews. Further to our cooperation with your investigation, I welcome the opportunity to share what I've taken away from this process. Calm down, Graham. All right. There's a lot of talk right now about how the U.S. government interacts with companies like Meta, and I want to be clear about our position. Our platforms are for everyone. We're about...
Woosah.
Our platforms are for everyone. We're about promoting speech and helping people connect in a safe and secure way. As part of this, we regularly hear from governments around the world and others with various concerns about public discourse and public safety. In 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, so that would include Kamala Harris too, by the way, pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. Ultimately, it was our decision whether or not to take content down, and we own our decision, including COVID-19 related changes we made to our enforcement in the wake of this pressure. I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. I also think we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today. Could that be those of us who said hydroxychloroquine works? Ivermectin works?
Rogan.
Could it be those of us that said that they're lying to you and that these vaccines aren't what they say to be? How many people, Mark Zuckerberg, are you responsible for? How many deaths are you responsible for? Because you wouldn't allow real information to be put out. How many deaths are on your hands, Mark? And when are you going to be held accountable for it? I had so many people So many people, when I said, don't take the shot, now cancer's up 300% with people under the age of 40. I wonder why. I had so many people tell me when I said, go take hydroxychloroquine, go take ivermectin. Remember the horse medication? Remember that? I had so many friends disown me because they told me that I was going to be responsible for the deaths of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people. How about that? But it was you, Mark. You did it. How many people are dead because of you? How many people are going to get cancer now because of you? How many respected doctors, like, I don't know, Robert Malone? How many people are going to die because of you in the future? How many businesses did you end because you cut us all off of social media for trying to speak the truth? How many businesses? How many people did I have to let go from my own organization because you cut our monetization off simply because we were trying to tell the truth? Who's going to hold you accountable, Mark? Who? You come out almost 5 years later and it's like, oh, our bad. What? You think a freaking pen to paper, and it's not even pen to paper. You think a freaking letter is going to make you okay? You think it's going to be all right? Do you have any idea what you did to so many people? Do you have any idea how many people you probably single-handedly had the ultimate decision of their death because you withheld information that could have saved their lives? And how many people, Mark, are going to die in the future because you pushed vaccines that we now know were not safe? How many people are bankrupt to this day, lost everything because you killed their business on your platform? Mm-hmm. How many, Mark? How many people? This isn't good enough. This isn't good enough. It's not good enough. And this is personal for me because I fought you for years over this. It is a miracle that we are still here today. And it's only because of the Lord above that we are still here. Because you tried to kill us. You tried to kill our business. You tried to kill our ability to speak. And now we find out it wasn't even a personal conviction of yours, that you were just wrong. I could respect that. No, you admit that the Biden administration, and especially the White House, forced you to do it. They forced you to censor the free speech of Americans. It's not good enough.
Hope you got a big bank account, buddy, because there's going to be a lot of people coming after you now. A lot. Probably this man up there included.
If I find out about a lawsuit from this, I will. I'm telling you right now, Dear America Incorporated, Graham Allen Media Incorporated, we will sign on to any lawsuit against you.
I still remember the conversation that you called me many years ago about how bad things were going because of this.
Yeah.
And that you were like, dude, I'm in danger of losing everything that I've built because of censorship, because the First Amendment is like gone. And now this comes out. But this happens all the time. All the time. Like, while it's going on, we know they're full of crap. They know they're full of crap. And then 10 years down the road, they go, oh, yeah, yeah, we were doing that. Yeah, They always do that. They always do that.
But do you think something's actually going to happen to Zuck? Because he was pushing stuff that the government was telling him to push. So do you think the government's going to protect him?
Like, if that don't open the door, if that doesn't open the door for massive litigation, I don't know what is. Like, if somebody can sue Red Bull for $7 million because it didn't give them wings and
somebody got $10 million from McDonald's because they got chicken nuggets that were too hot and their baby dropped them in their lap and got burned. Yeah. And McDonald's had to pay $10 million. What the crap should Mark Zuckerberg have to do?
He should lose everything.
Well, I think the only way something happens to Mark Zuckerberg is if we do something, because the government's not going to take care of it.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know that it seems like forever ago that COVID happened, but those of us who fought that entire time, and I'm not downgrading anyone, okay? I know you had to go to work. I know you had to do what you had to do, but some of us were fighting them the entire time, every single day. For them just now to say, oh yeah, we probably shouldn't let them do that. And oh yeah, those of you who got called conspiracy theorists and we shut your pages down and we killed your businesses and you had to let employees go because you couldn't pay your bills and all the above. Oh, you actually were right. The government did actually pressure us to do that. I just sit here and I just think to myself, like you've got to be kidding me. And then to think the utter gall of it. Here's another thing. Go to Elon Musk. Go to Elon Musk. Ladies and gentlemen, I beg you to at Elon as much as possible. Elon Musk said this sounds like a First Amendment violation. Elon, you have the ability to go after Mark Zuckerberg. You have the ability to help us. I can't. There's nothing I can do to go after Mark Zuckerberg. Now, I can sign on to lawsuits, but someone much bigger than me has to do it. Elon Musk, I'm begging you to consider helping those of us to go after Mark Zuckerberg. And on top of that, forget the money, forget the businesses, forget all that stuff. You can survive that. People are still alive that lost their businesses. Not right. And they should be paid damages for it. But what about the people that lost their lives because Facebook only allowed what Dr. Fauci said they should do to be spoken? How many people died because of Mark Zuckerberg and Meta's decision? How many people are going to have cancer in the future because of Meta's, what we now know is disinformation about the efficacy of the shot? Who's going to hold you accountable? Elon Musk, I beg you to please consider taking this up. I beg you. People on Facebook, there's people on Facebook watching right now. Share this far and wide. We cannot just let Mark Zuckerberg pen a letter to Congress saying, you're right, I was wrong. The White House did, in fact, even though I denied it for years.
That's not good enough.
Oh, the White House did, in fact, do it. And in hindsight, I should have done a better job. I'm really sorry. What?
That's not good enough.
Yeah. What?
Sorry.
Please.
And
somebody consider helping us.
Exactly. Because they're still doing it. Like, you write a letter to Congress saying that the government is telling you to censor people. You're still doing it, you turd. Yep. I'm still getting a strike for this photo.
To this day.
I still get popped for this photo.
I still have a fact check on Instagram right now where I said, did Kamala Harris say reduce the population? And it's a video of her saying reduce the population. And then because a White House spokesperson said, well, yes, she did say it, but she misspoke. She meant reduce pollution. I have a fact check right now saying that I am giving false information because she didn't say that. But she did say it. It's right there. Oh, well, the spokesperson said she misspoke. Okay, well, she misspoke, but that doesn't change the fact that she said that. It's still happening. You're still doing it. We're still fighting it every single day. We got to move on. But ladies and gentlemen, I beg you to hit the like button and hit the share button because we cannot let Mark Zuckerberg type a letter and just exonerate himself of any wrongdoing of what he helped the government do to us for years. We can't let them. We can't let him get away with it. So I beg you to please hit the share button. Sure. Why not? Let's finish it out. Let's hear what His Majesty has to say at the end of this note here.
Hold up.
All right. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So it's hard to even finish it. I also think we made some choices that benefit of hindsight, new information we wouldn't make again. Like I said to our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressure from any administration in either directions, and we're ready to push back if something like this happens again. Okay. In a separate situation, the FBI warned us about a potential Russian disinformation operation about the Biden family and Burisma in the lead up to the 2020 election. That fall, we saw a New York Post story reporting on corruption allegations involving then Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden's family. We sent that story to fact checkers for review and temporarily demoted it while waiting for a reply. It's since been made clear that the reporting was not Russian disinformation, and in retrospect, we shouldn't have demoted the story. We've changed our policies to make sure this doesn't happen again. For instance, we no longer temporarily demote things in the U.S. while waiting for fact checkers. Mark, you changed the entire election, Mark Zuckerberg. 37% of Biden voters said that if they had known about the laptop, they would not have voted for Joe Biden. So even if you believe the election was above board, Mark Zuckerberg and Jack from Twitter, you, two men, rigged the 2020 election. You just admitted to it. You just admitted that you helped rig and influence the election by withholding real information. Apart from content moderation, I want to address the contributions I made during the last presidential cycle to support electoral infrastructure. The idea here was to make sure local election jurisdictions across the country had the resources they needed to help people vote safely during a global pandemic. I made these contributions through the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. They were designed to be nonpartisan, spread across urban, rural, and suburban communities. Still, despite the analysis I've seen showing otherwise, I know that some people believe this work benefited one party over the other. You wouldn't be writing this note if that wasn't true. My goal is to be neutral and not play a role one way or another, or even to appear to be playing a role, so I don't plan on making similar contributions this cycle. Respectfully, Mark Zuckerberg.
Question.
I'm sick, dude. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. I'm literally sick. Go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry.
My question is, you just said something very, very powerful, Graham, that two people influenced the result of the election there with Mark.
And that's Jack. Even if you believe that the election was completely legit.
Yeah.
Yes.
My question is, how do we keep something like this happening again? I mean, I know there's different platforms out there. There's X now with Elon, and we have Truth Social and whatnot. But the fact that we had two people influence, if that's true, the outcome of an election, that's very dangerous for everybody else, all the citizens in the United States that went out and voted and they thought they were making a difference. But the fact that just even, I mean, think about Google, Facebook, all of them, they can all influence what information comes out and how to tell people what to think. How do we combat that?
You don't. You can't, because, I mean, you think about it like this. This is where we are today.
They're too
Tony.
powerful. Powerful.
No, this is where we are. In the 70s, the exact same thing happened, okay? And a president got impeached and had to resign. He bugged political opponents' offices. They did that to Trump. He faked political investigations. They're doing that to Trump. And they used political means to change information. It was called Watergate. And Nixon had to step down because of it. So you're not going to stop this kind of stuff because now it's going unpunished. The second, as a country, we stand up and these actual politicians do what we elected them to do and start punishing these people for doing these things, then people will go, oh, maybe this is not a good idea to do anymore.
Yeah, but Todd, how do we do that if we start punishing them? Because as you saw with Bongino a little bit ago, the Secret Service, they allowed their head person to step down and not get fired, and the next person up is the same as she was. So even if you get rid of Zuck, the person that's behind him, they're just going to have the same.
The only way is to be able to have the public square the open forum. That's it. The ability to have dissenting ideas, not counter ideas, dissenting ideas. And I see a lot of people in the chat, and I just want to be Graham for a minute. Not, hey, the character. I want to be Graham for a minute. I see everybody, oh, Graham needs a hug. Somebody get Graham a Snickers or something like that. Hey, whatever. It's jokes. Everybody's being funny. I want to tell you, though, why this matters to me, because we fought this every day for years. You don't know. Well, some of you do. A lot of you don't know what it's like to have to look your wife in the eye and say, I know that this is potentially bankrupting us, but I can't not tell the truth. And all I had to do was just not talk about that. I could talk about anything else I wanted, but just not that. And to look my children in the eye and like, look, I know it's tough. I know it's hard. I know this. And then to look at people that I had to let go and to explain to them, I'm sorry that I have to let you go. And I'm sorry that you have to figure out how to pay for food for your family because of the decision that I made to continue to talk about the one thing that we weren't allowed to talk about. That was my decision. Nobody else gets to make that decision here. That's me. And I just to see him write this letter to confirm that I and so many others were right about everything. We were right about all of it. I would equate it to a detective that knows that he knows that he knows that that person did it. For years knows. And then 4 years later, the person writes a letter going, yep, I did it. And nothing happens. They just get away with it. Because, oh, well, at least he admitted it. You see Patrick Bet-David do a tweet, and I like Patrick Bet-David, I do, but I couldn't disagree with his tweet that he put out anymore. If we can pull that up real quick, the tweet here, he says, but this is his takeaway. He admitted this for one of these reasons. One, he's being honorable. There's no honor in this man.
None.
He's not being honorable. Two, he's done with the Dem party. I don't think Mark Zuckerberg was ever for a particular party. I think he was who the highest bidder was. You don't think that the government gave Mark Zuckerberg a kickback for helping out in some way, shape, form, or fashion? Three, he's getting ahead of a whistleblower.
Probably.
A whistleblower saying what? That they actually did the things that we know that they did? They've already had whistleblowers. We've known for so long. So to those of you in the chat, and I know you're joking, I get it. I don't need a hug. I don't need a Snickers. This is a big years. And you have to look people in the eye and tell them that you have to let them go because you can't afford them. And that they can't feed their family during the middle of the pandemic. Because I was so unwilling not to talk about the one thing that they said we weren't allowed to talk about. You have no idea how that feels. 99% of you have no idea what that is to live with that. And we still have not recovered financially, by the way, to what we were in 2020, 2021 when all this crap went down. And it is a miracle that we're here today. And so, yeah, it's a big deal to me. It's a big deal to me. It hurts. It's real. And what hurts the most is that nothing's going to happen to this guy. Nothing. Nothing's going to happen to him. And so, anyway, but we got to move on. We got to do this last little bit here. Kamala Harris is trying to back out of the debates. So let's go to that. And I want to talk about it really quick here. All right, so this is a long video with Jesse Waters, so we're just going to read the thing here. The stakes for the first debate are high because this would be the first time Democrats lose control over Kamala Harris. She's on her own, live, no script, no notes, no Oprah, no Obama, no excuses. They must be nervous because her handlers are demanding they rip up the debate rules. She wants to bring a cheat sheet, do the debate sitting, and unmute the mics. That's because the only way Kamala can win is if you don't know anything about her. But elections drill down to one thing: character. What does it say about a candidate that steals the nomination? Okay, so here's what's going on. So the original thing was the exact same rules that Trump agreed to with Biden. Muted mics. Person's got their time to talk. The other person's mic's muted. They'd stand the whole time. No notes. Okay? They agreed to debate Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, and then all of a sudden, can we just get a picture of Kamala Harris and Donald Trump while we talk real quick? Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, Kamala Harris just yesterday decides that she wants unmuted mics. Okay, Trump has come out and said, you know what? I don't mind the unmuted mics, but people are trying to say that his handlers, the campaign, are going to veto him, and here's why. And I actually don't think it's a bad idea, and I'm going to tell you why. This is why we need the muted mics. Okay? It is to force Kamala to have to talk, because here's what's going to happen. The strategy for Kamala, if there's unmuted mics, is to get Donald Trump rolling, and it's not going to be that he's not going to say amazing things. He will. But it's only going to be like an hour and a half debate. So the same rule kind of applies that we said back when he was debating Biden. You need to let Biden do 80% of the talking. You need to talk for 20 seconds. You need to finish your point before the time is up, and the extra time needs to go to your opponent. The Kamala Harris campaign wants it to be hot mic or mics on the whole time because they're hoping and praying that Donald Trump will get on a tangent, therefore saving Kamala, giving her time to regroup. They also want it to be a seated debate. You don't have to play it, but go to the video of her and Mike Pence really quick if you can, because that also was a seated debate. So this seems to be a trend here. See, they're sitting down in this. So I don't know what it is about standing that makes Kamala unable to speak. Let's go back to the picture of her and Trump. They also want notes, an unlimited amount of notes for facts, to keep her on point. And then I've even heard pre-written teleprompter opening statements. If I were Donald Trump, do you think Donald Trump should debate Kamala Harris based on those new rules? My answer is no.
Nope,
I don't think he should debate her.
Nope,
I don't think he should. I don't think he should at all. Not to those rules. Remute the mics. And the reason why is because remute the mics. I would settle on this. Let her sit down. Sure, let her sit down. No note cards, no pre-written statements, and the mic stay muted when it's not your turn to talk. 100%. And I would let her bury herself.
And
to your point, Graham.
Good evening. Good evening.
To your point, when Biden and Trump debated, you're right. When they had the mics muted or whatnot, he did exactly what you said he was going to do. He was letting Biden dig his own grave, and he was very presidential.
Correct.
He was very calculated. He did exactly what we were talking about the show that he would do. Just be out there, stick to your points, and let Biden just bury himself. And I think they should do the same with her.
I think that if they don't agree to those terms, I don't do the debates. I don't do the debates. Donald Trump has debated one presidential nominee for the DNC, and he mopped the floor with him. He does not owe her a debate.
Nope.
He doesn't owe her a debate, especially under these rules, because this is them trying to control the debate for their benefit. They're hoping that she can say something or he'll just get on a tangent, which I love Donald Trump. He can talk with the best of them, yo. And it's not even that he would be saying anything wrong, but it would be giving her time to get her feet back from underneath her. No. The answer is no. Muted mics. Just you, Kamala. It's just you. I can't interrupt you. Go tell them. Go defend yourself on policy. Go defend yourself on the border. Go say that you don't own the economy that is currently under your administration as vice president. Go do it. No notes either. How much do you actually know about the border? How much do you actually know about the economy? How much do you actually know about how you're going to pay for these things that you're saying? Let her hang herself. And if she won't do it, don't do the debates. Focus on the rallies in the battleground states and the swing states, and that's it.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
Let her do town halls. She'll make a fool of herself.
Don't do it. Mr. President, do not do it under those rules. If she does not agree to go to muted mics, because I think the muted mics is a good idea, and I think it's a strategy on their part to try to play Trump as a coward because he doesn't want to be on, mics on the whole time. Are you a moron? He literally went through 2 presidential election cycles where it was open the whole time. No, it benefits Trump. That's why they don't want to do it, because they know their candidate. Don't do it, President Trump. Don't give her notes. No way, no how. You either know what you're talking about to be president, or you don't freaking know what you're talking about. Let her hang herself. That's all I got for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we tell you to hit that like button and please hit that share button. Please leave us a comment in the comment section. We do so love to hear your thoughts. Todd, I'm going to let you pray us out while we got the height of viewership here, and then we'll get to questions. Let's go.
Let's do it. Father, we just thank you for a good show. And as always, Father, I thank you for these other 3 men on this screen with me. And Lord, just the platform that you give us to speak to the masses, just to mention your name and to let everybody know that they do have a chance. That, even in this political world, even the way this country is right now, that the only thing that matters, the number one thing, the most important thing, is what eternal decision have they made today. And that your son died on a cross for all of us before we were even born. He knew our name. He knew our sins. And he still went to the cross and died. And you rose him again on the 3rd day to prove that he was the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And your word says that if you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that Jesus was both man and God, that he died for you and he rose again, that you will be saved. Father, we love you, and we thank you for everything that you do for us. We thank you for going ahead of us, opening doors for us, closing doors that need to be closed, and giving us the discernment to dictate the difference between the two. Father, we love you, and we ask all these things in your son's name, and all God's people said.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, let's do super questions. Let's go.
All right, here we go from Grant Reach 12. Has Todd been hanging around John Cooper a little too much? When can we expect John to come back on the show? Hashtag best band ever. If you haven't checked out Skillet's new song, you are missing out.
Yeah, I'd love to have John back on. His daughter got married, so he's kind of been doing some stuff there, and they're in the middle of moving. Won't say where because that's none of y'all's business. But yeah, we'd love to have John back on. Absolutely, he's a good friend.
And no, I haven't been hanging out with him. I've never met him. All right.
You don't look anything like John Cooper. I don't know what they're talking about.
Number 2, Jesse Paz 94. If you voted for Biden and now voting for Harris, that's like crapping your pants and then changing your shirt.
Correct.
That's pretty good. Hunter 0308. First of all, love you guys. Thanks for what you guys do. I'm 22, been listening for over a year and a half. Second, what will this show become once Trump wins? Love the show. Enjoy hearing real news. You'll get good news for a change.
Yeah, you'll get a really excited November 6th episode.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. Again, we've talked about it a lot. We are focused on this election, and then once this election's over, then we will all kind of take account of where things are, what we think, just what we think about everything moving forward. And so again, Dear America's not going anywhere. But
there's always plenty of people to hate. So
yeah. And so, but man, right now we just got to get through November 5th, and then we'll go from there. That's where we're at.
Kim's Coffee Talk. Keep shouting, guys. We are here with you. Yeah, that's what we do.
No problem.
The Wolf 092 pissed off Graham is awesome. Zuck, go to HE double hockey sticks.
I'm glad that my potential aneurysm is everybody's favorite.
S. Rosario 2010, your anger and passion is felt, Graham. You were checked every day. It was frustrating as a viewer and a follower of yours. All we want is the truth. If there are attorney fees, I will contribute. Wow.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And I know that you guys were with me during all of that. I know. It's just, man, this is just one of them things, dude, that, I know that we all lived it, and I'm not negating that it wasn't difficult on everybody, but man, dude, we fought these parasites every single freaking day, and they just called us liars and this and that, and then and then worse, they had power over us to take, if you can't get us to shut up, what can you do? Well, the censor. Okay, well, the censoring doesn't work because people that keep coming back. What do? Well, okay, you bankrupt them to where they have to stop. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, anyway. All right, continue.
All right. From Jesse Paz 94, I think Graham needs a Snickers. Striker J11, $100 donation. Thanks for rant about Zuck. Put me in tears, sir. Perfectly said. I lost two of my best friends, vaxxed, both age 46. Dead for trusting. Tried to stop them. Brian was my best friend since 5 years old. Chuck was a 15-year friend. That's awful.
Wow.
It's terrible, man.
Thank you, Striker J. That's
again, that's yes, thank you as always for contributing to the show, man. But that's what I mean. Like you can't let the coldness of a typed out letter negate how much blood is actually on that thing. And anyway, all right, continue.
Yeah. Jess Paz 94. Never mind the Snickers. Get Graham a gallon of coffee. We need Buck Wild, Graham.
I drink too much coffee already.
Yeah, he doesn't need to do that, right? And yeah. Veal 1860. What if Mark is revealing this to pave the way for Biden to step down, then Kamala ascends to the White House throne before election to boost her poll numbers? I think that tanks her numbers, and that's why they haven't done it.
Yeah, I don't see that being a positive strategy.
Because then at that point, we can really say, you can do all that right now. You're president.
Yeah,
correct.
Good point. Yeah, true.
Correct.
Yeah, good point. Yep.
Mamoose, just cause we love you.
Hey, we love you guys too.
I love those.
Yeah, I love those too. Like, no question, but here you go. Boom.
Yeah, we love you. Mamoose, can we get a recording of the Zuck segment so we can retweet, especially with Graham's raw moment? I will retweet like crazy.
Yeah, I already planned on clipping that whole thing to be like an episode on YouTube and to post to Twitter, just the whole segment in itself. So,
yeah. So
you guys can go check that out. Probably later today, it'll be there.
Sweet. From White Knight 126, just want to drop a great song recommendation. OAR, I Go Through. Glory to God.
OAR is a great band. Yeah. OAR is great.
From Lewis 2387, is there no such thing as press briefings anymore? Haven't had one since well before the DNC.
There's no president anymore, so
Love the rants.
And I already told you why we don't have a president, because he's dead.
Yeah, well, it's starting to look that way. All right, what else?
Patriot_Paladin. I knew a lot of friends that got the boot because they're not taking the jab. I'm mad thinking about all the good people we lost to threats of retirement and retention. Yep, that's a fact.
Yep.
And that's all of them.
All right, we got any or YouTube?
We do.
All right.
This one, just $5.
Oh, thank you, Missy, for the donation. Appreciate it very much.
She also did this.
Cartel Tony is 100% correct. Biden is dead. Great show. Keep up the good work. God bless you all. Don't hold back. Graham Zuckerberg should pay. I agree. I think he should.
Thank you for the cartel shout out. I appreciate that. See, everybody's calling me cartel now. I'm going to wind up dead myself because you guys are calling me cartel.
All right. Amber says this is a little unrelated today, but have you seen the reporting of worship services? Yes, we saw it.
It was the football team, man.
It didn't make the show today, but we plan on having it tomorrow.
That was awesome.
Facebook keeps taking it down, of course. You know, why not? Why not?
Last one.
All right. Dorothy said, just curious, in hindsight, has anyone talked to Crook's parents about their deranged son? Yeah, they've lawyered up. So that should tell you a bunch of things as well.
And like very high priced lawyer too.
Yeah, exactly.
There's one more just popped up on Rumble from Tiny 1964. Just want to let you know that God is on our side and that he loves us all. Amen, sister.
Amen.
If you're a sister, I'm sorry.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Sorry I got a little heated today. It's just one of those shows. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We had over like 15,000 people across all platforms. It's not lost on us how crazy that is, especially at this time slot. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Please make sure to do us a favor, hit that like button. And if you could do me a personal favor, go to where you listen to podcasts right now and hit that subscribe button on the audio version of the podcast. We do already put out things on there that you guys don't see on here, and we're going to do more of that as time moves on. So please help us out there. It's free. It's a little click of the button there to follow it. Make sure to subscribe wherever you're watching. If that's YouTube, hit subscribe. If that's Facebook, make sure you're following. If that's here on Rumble, make sure that you're following the page. And of course, please leave us a comment in the comment section. That's all we got. Tony, say goodbye.
See you all tomorrow. Hasta mañana.
Royce.
Adios.
All right, Todd.
Love you, miss you, mean it.
And as always, I'm Graham Allen. Stay awake, not woke. Trust in God, not the government. And as always, stay free.